Okay, so I know there could be a lot of haters on what I'm about to say, but I have to say it. Let's talk about the value of affirmations and mantras, why they work, and if it is the right thing for you, and why I believe you are cutting yourself short of going to the root so that you never have to say a thing, but just think it, feel it. Okay, so mantras and affirmations, they work. But here's the thing that most people are not realizing. Why do they work for the majority of the women today? The majority of the women today are masculine energy dominant women, thinkers. So in the good way, it intercepts the typical negative things that a masculine energy woman will think, because when you are a woman with a vagina and you're in an opposing energy, that opposing energy unlocks a tunnel that goes way back into your other negative, and I mean only negative experiences. That's why your masculine is dominant. It's dominant because masculine is a protective energy. So when masculine energy gets way up here and is dominating your life, I guarantee you, your feminine energy is frozen as fuck. So now that these women are in their masculine energy, they live in their logic. They are cut off from their feelings because they're navigating through the corridors of hell only through their logic. And the thing about the brain is the brain only understands what's happening now. It doesn't know what's happening around the corner. Your heart does, though. Your energy does, though. Your nervous system can always feel if someone's calm to be around or going to be problematic. So what happens in the good way is that the mantras and the positive affirmation, they intercept your natural negative thinking, because when a woman lives in her mind predominantly, is cut off from her navigating system, which is her feelings, and she doesn't even feel a right to have them, and they're all skewed. What happens is that the mind is wired to the brain, which is wired to survive. So you're always on the lookout for that which can pose a threat. That's why it draws to you energies and thoughts that can hurt you, overlooking all that can be good for you, and even being suspicious when something is good for you. You cannot see because you're in the energy of, oh my God, it's going to hurt me. So now these affirmations and these mantras are something you have to force yourself to remember to say all the time. And what does that do? That puts you in using your mind, which activates your masculine energy. Now, although it's intercepting the negative thoughts, you're not getting to the root of why you have them, which is why you need the affirmation and the mantras, because you're not in touch with your value, which as a woman, you would need to be anchored in your present energy, because again, trauma and all those things happen from a disconnect from our body, which means we're in that portal where all the experiences happened. Our shell of our body here is here, but we're living in the guts of the emotion of all those experiences. So with the pressure and or not, and or writing all things down in front of your mirror, looking at your eyes and force feeding yourself words of value, saying it an hour when you get up, saying it an hour when you go to sleep, saying it when you're peeing, and all those things, that is a very different life than feminine divine energy, which has the energy of just expecting good things to roll her way. And although I agree, it's great because for our subconscious, as we dip off and go to sleep, yes, you can say all is well. I love Abraham Hicks for first suggesting that all is well in my life. Yes, it brings you down to your center. It overrides the chatty Cathys in your head that are on LSD and fucking you up. But If you were just in your present divine energy, which is so built without a hitch to connect you to all that is amazing to bring to your ass, there would be no work, and you would be further in the energy of receiving the good to come, expecting the good to come. That is very different than leading your life in a way where you need to remember and very pissed if you forget one time a day or if you don't say it all. It just, that tiringness, that I gotta say it, that desperateness or my life will be bad, puts you again dependent on something. It's just like alcoholics dependent on their booze, then dependent on a 12-step program. Yes, they help, but they're not getting the root. And I believe, as a Heyoka empath, with the insights that I receive daily, the root to all things, staying trapped in your trauma, anxiety, nervousness, anxiousness, all those things, needing affirmations, needing mantras, not able to just think and then taking the impulse towards it so that it comes to you, doing all the things that you would naturally do freely if you were in feminine energy, like compliment another person when something is striking to you. And then that striking thing that you were inspired by opens a key and you start having conversation with this person. Their energy is through the roof because what you were inspired to compliment them on, they had an issue or feel immense pride with. And that conversation gets you to your next step. All these mystical, magical things happen when you are in your energy. Now, how do we get there? Feminine energy is devoid of pain, because feminine energy, and why she's so alluring, is because she is love energy. That's why she glows. That's why people just feel good around her. That's why people just want to give. She is love energy, and love comes when it's welcome, when it's safe to do so. So as long as you have pain, and believe me, the clients come to me, it's like past life, which gets you into a certain life here, to redo that pain, they call it karma. I call it having overspilled energies from past life, not getting to the root of it. And as long as you are in masculine energy dominance or feminine energy dominance, you're not present, and so can't have a fresh life. You're trailing, like a stinky ass, the stench of all the negative energies of past experiences and past life. And so to shift into feminine energy is a process where insight is revealed as to the underpinnings that put you in fear mode, where you needed the masculine to be dominant. That is the way you shift from the inside in feminine energy, and everything natural to her, including the magic she brings to her, has to come.